Mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes. I think the danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads by a lot.
Free speech is meaningless unless you allow people you don't like to say things you don't like.
What was that trip like? And obviously, you know that there's a public perception that, and you're clarifying this now.
In a world where doing the right thing often comes at a price, one waitress's brave stand for Elon Musk has set the internet ablaze.
Now on GMA with new fallout from Elon Musk's interview with Don Lemon. The former CNN anchor posted the entire thing on X. It got heated at times, and chief business correspondent Rebecca Jarvis is here with the details.
A quiet cafe in a small town became the stage for a dramatic showdown when the world's most polarizing billionaire walked in, weary and deep in thought. As locals turned hostile, Jada, a kind-hearted black waitress, defended him and lost her job for it. Yet fate had other plans. What life-changing surprise awaited her the next day? Join us as we unveil all that transpired between the waitress and Elon Musk. The evening that changed everything at Poppy's Cafe. Jada Williams' evening shift at Poppy's Cafe changed unexpectedly when Elon Musk walked in. The 28-year-old waitress had worked at the small diner on the outskirts of Austin, Texas for 3 years. Most of her customers were retired locals who followed the same routines every day, ordering the same meals. The quiet, predictable atmosphere was part of her normal work life. But Musk's sudden arrival broke that routine, drawing attention and creating a buzz in the otherwise calm cafe. His presence was out of place in the familiar, low-key environment.
Welcome to the We Robot Party. So we have quite a show for you tonight. I think you're gonna like it. As you can see, I just arrived in the robotaxi, the cybercab.
Poppy's still carries its 1990s charm, with worn leather booths, checkered curtains, and the smell of home-cooked meals filling the air. The regulars kept to their routines. Pete arrived at 6 every evening, ordered a decaf coffee, and quietly worked on his crossword puzzle. Others followed their own set patterns, making the cafe feel more like a neighborhood gathering spot than just a business. The same faces, doing the same things day after day. Retired teachers Martha and Jen sat in their usual corner booth, talking about their time in the classroom over cups of tea. Other customers filled the cafe, each sticking to their familiar routines. Some read the newspaper, others chatted quietly, creating a calm, predictable atmosphere. The steady hum of daily life in the cafe made it feel more like a neighborhood living room than a business, where everyone knew each other, and the rhythm never changed. At 45 minutes after 8 p.m., just before closing, Elon Musk walked in alone. There were no security guards or assistants, just him, dressed in a black t-shirt and jeans. As soon as he entered, the room fell silent. Some customers immediately pulled out their phones to take pictures, while others leaned in to whisper, keeping their eyes on him as he moved through the cafe. The usual buzz of conversation stopped, replaced by curiosity and the quiet hum of anticipation. The cafe's interior was simple, with a worn linoleum floor and large plain windows. The decor was basic and unadorned, just functional furniture and a few nostalgic touches that gave it an old-school charm. This plain, no-frills setting was a sharp contrast to the sleek, high-tech image Elon Musk was known for. The space felt dated and unpretentious, far removed from the modern, innovative world associated with Musk and his companies. Outside, his Tesla Model S had already caught the attention of passers-by.
2019, Elon made headlines once again when he revealed this science fiction-inspired machine.
With a small crowd gathered to admire the luxury car. Inside, however, The atmosphere was quiet and simple, a sharp contrast to the innovation and futuristic reputation Musk had built. The cafe was calm, with no signs of the high-tech world Musk was known for. The basic decor and laid-back feel of the place stood in stark opposition to the cutting-edge technology Musk was associated with.
Tech titan Elon Musk is known for being a car guy, a rocket guy, a social media guy, and now he's also a supercomputer guy.
The contrast between the simple setting and the presence of one of the world's most influential figures created a strange yet interesting scene. The quiet atmosphere of the cafe, usually filled with routine sounds, was replaced by curious looks from the patrons. It was a moment where the ordinary met the extraordinary, as the unassuming surroundings stood in stark contrast to the fame and power Musk carried with him. The usual hum of conversation was gone, replaced by the quiet attention of those trying to make sense of the unexpected presence. Musk's visit came at a crucial time for Poppy's Cafe. The cafe's lease was nearing renewal, and the number of customers had been dropping, putting its future in jeopardy. For weeks, the regulars had talked about the possibility of the cafe closing and what that would mean for the local community. In the middle of this uncertainty, Musk's unexpected appearance sparked a buzz, creating both curiosity and unease among the staff and customers. His arrival added to the tension, making everyone wonder what it could mean for the struggling business. Jada picked up her notepad and walked over to Musk's table, prepared to take his order, just as she had done many times before with other customers. She didn't know that this ordinary moment during a slow shift would set off a series of events that would impact her life and the future of Poppy's Cafe. What seemed like a routine task would soon lead to changes she hadn't anticipated, affecting not just her, but everyone connected to the cafe. As Jada walked toward Musk's table with his black coffee and apple pie, who could have predicted that a simple question from one of the regulars would spark a heated debate about the future of artificial intelligence? Challenging conversation about AI. Frank Thompson, known for his blunt style and strong opinions, broke the silence in the cafe. He stood up from his usual seat and walked over to Musk's table. Without hesitation, he asked a direct question about Musk's complicated relationship with OpenAI.
OpenAI, I mean, you seem somewhat frustrated with them. You were one of the big contributors early on.
The reason I am the reason OpenAI exists.
How much money did you give them?
I'm not sure the exact number, but it's some number on the order of $50 million.
A topic that had been in the news recently. Frank's question about Musk's early support for OpenAI broke the silence, his voice loud enough to draw the attention of everyone in the cafe. Customers paused what they were doing, setting down their cups as they waited to hear how Musk would respond. Musk paused, set down his coffee, and acknowledged his early involvement with OpenAI, remaining calm despite the pointed question. Frank, however, pushed further, asking why Musk had filed a lawsuit against OpenAI and later created his own AI company, xAI.
Elon Musk's xAI is in talks with investors for a funding round that would value it at $40 billion. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. The report saying that xAI hopes to raise several $billion.
The tension in the room increased as Frank highlighted what he viewed as contradictions in Musk's actions. He questioned why Musk had sued OpenAI and then gone on to develop his own AI company, suggesting it seemed inconsistent. Musk explained that his actions were driven by concerns about OpenAI's current direction. He stressed the importance of prioritizing truth and transparency in AI development, rather than operating with hidden motives. This, he said, was the reason he started xAI, to promote a more open and ethical approach to advancing artificial intelligence. Frank remained skeptical. He dismissed Musk's explanation, suggesting that his actions were self-serving. He accused Musk of starting his own AI company because he couldn't get the control he wanted with OpenAI, framing it as a move for more money and power. Other customers quietly agreed, nodding and murmuring in support of Frank's remarks. The conversation reflected a larger public debate about AI development and the intentions of tech leaders. Musk argued that his actions were motivated by concerns over AI safety and transparency. But skeptics like Frank viewed them as a strategic move for greater influence in the tech industry. The discussion raised important questions about AI development. Who should oversee these powerful technologies? How can their use be guided to benefit humanity? What role should private companies have in shaping them? These issues were no longer theoretical, but were being debated in a small cafe between a tech industry leader and a retired local with strong opinions. Musk responded calmly but firmly, denying that his actions were about power or profit. He stated that his focus was on accountability, explaining that AI is an incredibly powerful tool, and he wanted to ensure he had done everything possible to keep it under control. This conversation showed how the debate over AI had spread beyond corporate meetings and tech events into everyday discussions. Even in a small cafe, people had strong opinions about AI development and the motives of those behind it. The tension in the room was clear. Customers watched closely, some whispering to each other, while others shook their heads in disagreement with Musk's explanation. What had been a quiet cafe turned into an unexpected setting for a major debate on technology. What began as a simple question grew into a larger discussion about trust, power, and the future of technology. Frank's challenge reflected the rising public skepticism about tech leaders and their claims of acting for the common good. On the other hand, Musk's responses showed the difficulty of explaining complex technological issues.
Rocket technology, that's considered an advanced weapons technology, so even a normal work visa isn't sufficient unless you get a special permission from the Secretary of Defense or the Secretary of State.
To a wary public, the conversation continued as more customers shared their opinions. Meanwhile, Jada stood behind the counter, growing uneasy. She watched the exchange, realizing she was about to make a decision that would change her life. As Musk's criticism increased and the cafe's atmosphere became more hostile, no one expected a waitress to risk her job defending one of the world's most controversial figures, standing up for innovation. Jada couldn't stay quiet any longer. The criticism from her regular customers didn't match what she knew about Musk's contributions. Setting down her coffee pot, she stepped forward, her heart racing, but her voice steady. Jada could no longer stay quiet. She had seen enough of the criticism, and it didn't match the reality she knew. She stepped forward, setting her coffee pot down and speaking with calm confidence. She addressed Frank and the others, explaining that while she understood not everyone agreed with Musk's actions, it wasn't fair to dismiss him as purely selfish. She pointed out that Musk had contributed millions to his foundation, supporting hospitals and helping children with serious illnesses.
St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is getting a massive donation from one of the world's richest people. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk announced today he's donating $50 million.
This was something she had learned through her own research. She emphasized that people often overlooked these efforts when criticizing him, failing to recognize that his motivations were more complex than many assumed. Jada's defense went beyond Musk's charitable work. She focused on the bigger picture of technological progress, explaining that innovation continues regardless of public opinion. She stressed the need to make these advancements safer and more transparent, which was the very goal Musk claimed with his AI ventures. The cafe fell silent. Customers who had known Jada for years looked at her differently. Some were surprised by her boldness, while others remained skeptical. Even Musk seemed surprised, watching her with unexpected interest. Jada's stand came with consequences. Mr. Smith, the cafe owner, appeared from the back, frowning at the scene. He valued the regular customers, and any disruption to their comfort felt like a threat to the business. Mr. Smith addressed Jada, his tone firm. He acknowledged her passion, but made it clear that the regular customers were crucial to the cafe's success. He said they couldn't afford any conflicts, no matter who the customer was. Before Jada could explain further, he informed her that she would be replaced in a few days. The moment revealed a larger truth about standing up for beliefs. Doing so often comes with consequences. Jada saw Musk not just as a wealthy entrepreneur, but as someone pushing boundaries, trying to advance technology while acknowledging its risks. Some customers laughed at her situation, finding entertainment in her downfall. Others watched in silence, uncomfortable as years of good service were overshadowed by one moment of speaking out. For Jada, Poppy's had been more than a job. It had been a community where she felt at home. Now, that community seemed to be turning against her. Musk, who had remained silent during Jada's defense, knew the risk she had taken. As he stood to leave, he acknowledged her support and expressed his gratitude for standing up for him. He also made it clear that he didn't want her to lose her job because of it. The situation showed how complicated issues often don't have easy answers. Jada's support for innovation had cost her job security. The regulars' resistance to change had overshadowed the possibility of open conversation and differing views. As Musk left the cafe, Jada felt a tightness in her throat. She knew the days ahead at Poppy's would be difficult. Each shift would be filled with awkward interactions, hushed whispers from customers and co-workers, and the uneasy feeling of being an outsider in a place she once felt comfortable. The weight of her situation settled on her. By standing up for her beliefs, she had lost the sense of connection she once felt in a place that had been more than a workplace. The cafe had been her community, a space where she understood the rhythm of every regular's day and built relationships through countless orders and friendly exchanges. Now, that feeling of belonging was gone. Every task, from serving customers to wiping tables, felt heavier, knowing her days there were numbered. The impact of her actions was undeniable, not just losing her job, but also losing the comfort and familiarity of a world she had relied on for years. The evening's events turned a simple coffee shop conversation into a test of personal conviction versus practical consequences. It showed how speaking up for what you believe in can lead to unexpected challenges, even in familiar surroundings. After Jada defended Musk's innovations,
People have called you the real Tony Stark. Okay, you've got your finger in so many different advanced technologies. As I said, SpaceX, Tesla, now you've got Solar City and the solar pack that people put in their houses.
The cafe's atmosphere became tense. The question was whether losing her job would mark the end of her story or the start of something bigger. Professional fallout. Mr. Smith's decision hit Jada hard. The cafe had been her safe space, where she knew every regular's order and the rhythm of each day. Now, that security was fading because she chose to speak up for what she believed in. Some customers seemed to enjoy the drama. Their chuckles and whispers made it harder for Jada to bear. She fought back tears, feeling humiliated as she realized the people she had served for years were taking pleasure in her downfall. Musk stayed quiet while Mr. Smith spoke, but his expression showed he understood the consequences of his presence. He got up from the table, his coffee barely touched, and walked over to Jada. With a look of regret, he addressed her directly. He thanked her for defending him, his voice carrying real sincerity. He added that he didn't want to be the cause of her losing her job. The moment showed how quickly things can shift at work. Just a few hours before, Jada was seen as a dependable employee, known for her consistent service and friendly attitude. Now, after taking a stand for what she believed in, she was being treated like an outsider, as if her years of hard work and loyalty no longer mattered. Mr. Smith's decision showed the challenges small businesses face in maintaining balance. Jada had advocated for innovation and progress, but the cafe's success depended on its regular customers, who liked things to stay the same. By defending Musk, Jada had upset this balance, making it clear that sometimes standing up for new ideas can clash with the needs of the business and its customers. For Jada, the consequences of speaking up went far beyond losing her job. She now faced the challenge of finding new work in a tough job market. The bonds she had formed with regular customers over the years had been shattered in just one evening. What had once been a place of stability and belonging had turned into a place where she felt isolated and rejected. The situation raised important questions about the cost of speaking up in the workplace. Jada had defended someone she believed was making progress in technology. Her words weren't disrespectful or confrontational. She simply shared a different viewpoint. Yet that simple act of voicing her opinion had cost her job, showing how difficult it can be to speak freely in professional settings without facing serious consequences. Mr. Smith's reaction highlighted how small businesses tend to prioritize keeping things stable rather than encouraging open discussions. Unlike larger companies with formal policies protecting free speech, small businesses like Poppy's often follow more personal, informal rules. In such environments, any disruption, even if it's based on differing views, can be seen as a threat to the business's reputation or customer base. This approach can limit employees' ability to express themselves freely without fearing consequences. The regular customers who had once greeted Jada with smiles now deliberately avoided making eye contact. Some carried on with their usual quiet conversations, acting as though nothing had changed. A few others, however, seemed to watch her closely, their expressions betraying a hint of satisfaction as she struggled to keep her composure. The friendly atmosphere that had once defined the cafe now felt distant, replaced by an uncomfortable tension that was hard to ignore. Jada's remaining time at the cafe would be difficult. She would have to continue serving the same customers who had seen her publicly dismissed, all while trying to maintain her professionalism. At the same time, she would be searching for new employment, a task made harder by the tension in the air. She would need to find a way to hold onto her dignity, working in an environment that no longer felt supportive or welcoming, where her voice had been silenced. Every day would remind her of the cost of speaking up, and the strain would weigh heavily on her. As the cafe's closing time neared, Jada started her usual closing routine, cleaning tables and stacking chairs. Each task, once part of her daily rhythm, felt different now, knowing that soon someone else would be doing them. The uncertainty about what came next, where she would work, how she would support herself, weighed heavily on her. After a sleepless night wondering how she would recover from losing her job, could anyone have predicted the life-changing opportunity that would walk through Poppy's door the very next day? An unexpected opportunity. Jada arrived at work feeling defeated. The thought of seeing the regulars again made her uneasy, but she had to stay until Mr. Smith found someone to replace her. As the lunch crowd died down, the cafe's bell rang. Whispers spread quickly. Elon Musk had come back. He sat in the same window seat as before, and the cafe grew quiet. Mr. Smith stood by the counter looking nervous, while regular customers exchanged looks. Despite her shaking hands, Jada brought over his usual order: black coffee and apple pie. This time, Musk stayed longer, glancing at her now and then as he drank his coffee. When he was ready to leave, he signaled for the bill. Jada approached his table with the card machine, doing her best to stay professional. Musk spoke quietly to Jada, thanking her again for standing up for him the night before.
Yes, but I mean, honestly, you know, some of these conspiracy theories have turned out to be true.
He acknowledged the cost it had for her and noted that not everyone would have done what she did. He paused, making sure she was listening, and mentioned that he had spoken with his team after he left. Musk then explained that his foundation was looking for people with Jada's integrity and people skills. He offered her a job at their call center, which provided steady work and the opportunity for growth. The customers who had laughed at her dismissal the day before now watched in silence. Some appeared embarrassed, while others seemed confused by what was happening. Mr. Smith's expression went from nervous to surprised as he understood what was unfolding. Musk explained that the job wouldn't be glamorous, but it offered steady work and could lead to something bigger. Jada struggled to find her words. Just a day ago, she had lost her job for standing up for someone. Now, that same person was offering her a new career opportunity. Without hesitation, she agreed. Jada hadn't planned her defense of Musk. She had just spoken up for what she believed was right. That honesty had caught his attention more than any career strategy could have. As Musk stood to leave, he told her his team would be in touch. The atmosphere in the cafe had completely changed since the night before. The regulars who had criticized her actions now sat quietly, possibly reconsidering their earlier judgments. This moment showed how quickly life can change. In just 24 hours, Jada went from losing her job as a waitress to gaining an opportunity many would envy. Her act of standing up for someone, despite the personal cost, had opened a door she never expected. The incident at Poppy's Cafe became more than just a story about defending someone famous. It demonstrated that integrity and courage, even in small moments, can lead to significant changes. Jada's willingness to speak up, despite the risks, revealed her character, and that character was noticed. As Musk's car pulled away from the cafe, Jada stood behind the counter still trying to process what had just happened. Her future had shifted dramatically, not because she planned it, but because she stayed true to her beliefs. The regular customers began talking among themselves. Their conversations now focused on this unexpected turn of events. Some who had criticized her the day before now avoided her gaze, while others offered awkward congratulations. What would you risk to stand up for what you believe in? And in a world where judgment comes quickly, could Jada's story inspire us to think twice before condemning someone for speaking their truth? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, check out the next video on your screen. You're going to enjoy it.